Hey, what's up? It's TL Gamer, and apparently comprehension isn't required for grad students. And so, what do I mean by that? Well, as you all know, whoever's familiar with my channel knows that when I get into discussions with people in Steam and other idiots, I have a tendency to save the conversation in case something comes out, which in case it did. So in this case, I'm going to introduce you to a grad student who likes to throw around his education, or I should say throw around their education, in a conversation in Discord, and I'm going to dissect it and show you just how ridiculous this is. So in a time when colleges are out of control, or, not really doing much. This just goes to show you that college really doesn't do much for anybody when you have somebody running around like this that claims they're a grad student. So let me bring it up here. Okay, so I need to give you a little background information before getting into this video here. And so this is again on Discord, and they're no longer on my friends list. But the point here is that but some of you don't know that I do urban exploring, and I very rarely ever again join chats and anything else because of shit like this, but this is ridiculously funny, and I've run into stupid people, but the point here is this kid takes the cake so far. And so, basically what it comes down to is I was in a Discord server for urban exploring, and I'm always looking for serious people, not, urban exploring has had a problem lately where, or I should say, not just lately, it's pretty much the new face of urban exploring where kids think they've discovered the dark net or something mysterious, and they just have no clue about how it works. So, as I said, I usually, for those of you who haven't seen what I've done to people with Steam users inside my chats, you can go watch some of those videos, but here we go. Okay, so that's how I ran into this person. Now, it started off cool and collective and everything else. Now, there's going to be parts of this I'm going to have to blur. I'm going to have to stop to edit because it contains some information that first of all, it really doesn't have anything to do with the video. But secondly, it's personal information, which is the main key point. All right, so let me let me get in here. So, all right, so I don't know who these people are. I don't really care. But anyway, I'm like, hey, what's up? And I'm gonna point out that when somebody starts being friendly to you and then things take a turn for the worst, whatever they said in the previously is irrelevant at this point. So what they do is they'll praise you, but when shit happens, it's like, oh, you're the worst person I've ever seen. It's hilarious. And here's an example. Now, I'm like, hey, what's up? I wanted to know if you were part of any Urbex groups. Seems like you're more qualified Urbexer than most of those chatters. I'm trying to hook somebody ML Outdoor up with with ones this person is. I can't even pronounce these people. I guess apparently this person, summing it up, this person's trying to find out what group this person belongs to because they're being super secretive about it, and they wind up acting like, or they're giving off the impression, or people are basically don't like him and saying he's giving off the impression that he has some super secret information. So, now, keeping in mind, we started out cool. I'm voice chatting with him, so, okay. I'm like, you got a mic, because I always ask people in Discord, because if I look for people to go urban exploring with, first I talk to you in voice chat, then you video chat me, because there's no way in hell I'm getting together with anybody, and vice versa. And, unless you know who you are. If you won't send your child on a date with somebody you've never met, then you're not going to, it's the same concept. And so, coincidentally, I left another Urbex group. I left a forum in an Urbex group because the whole key factoring is networking. And when I tried networking, they're like, why do you want to talk to people? You sound creepy. And I was like, that's the underlying thing here. And the underlying rule for Urbex is not to disclose the locations of where you are. That's just an unwritten rule. And then when I wouldn't give them the information because they refused to talk to me, they acted that shady, you're not giving the information out when they're the ones that, that's the underlying rule. It was so ridiculous. That's why I left the forum. And apparently I left the forum, and apparently that means I was banned. I was like, it literally took me 2 minutes to literally delete my account. It was going, are you sure you want to do this? You can't go back. don't worry, if you do this, you'll never be able to part of this community again. Are you sure about this? Remember what I said? It literally took me 2 minutes to delete my account. It was ridiculous. So anyway, let me continue here. So when I asked him about a mic, because I always do that, it says, I'm not home at the moment, so I can't when I get home. I'm like, okay, whatever. So we'll chat later. I'll be up for the most of the night. I'm like, you in the U.S., blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows I'm on the eastern side of the United States, so we're doing time zones here. He says, probably 11. So I says, okay, about 45 minutes. I said, how about you just call me at 11, between 11:15 and 11:30. Give yourself time to get settled in. So, yeah, so just call me wherever. He goes, okay, cool. I got some stuff to do, blah, blah, blah. Boom, okay. So he's working on his mom. He says, let me know about 2 minutes before you call so I can be in front of the computer. All right, so anyway, it sounds so good. So far so good. But this is why I have to lead this into this, because this gets ridiculous. Okay, so I'm like, okay. He calls me, and we're exchanging stuff in the service. So he's like, this is a video. He's talking about the kid now. He's pissed off at some kid. I don't know what the deal is. So he says, this is a video he posted, and he got 1.2K views on it and 700 likes. Absolute bullshit statistics. This is, I guess, apparently his channel. And I'm like, nice name. That's the channel of my Ghost Guy Exploration. Remember all the and I was like, all the explorations on my channel are all 360-degree videos. I own a 360-degree camera. And so I guess now he's telling me, here's the channel that this asshole is part of. And in the group is somebody named Skirisk or whatever it is. And dude's a huge douchebag. So if he ever hits you up, tread carefully. So basically what he's trying to do is talk ahead of me. Or talk ahead of the kid. That's what moderators do on forums. What they do is they will go ahead of you, or somebody will go ahead of you and put a bad taste in everybody's mouth before anybody even knows who you are. And a lot of the time that works. I've had that shit happen to me where I arrive at a forum, nobody even knows who I am, but because somebody didn't like me, they went ahead and said something that wasn't true. Moderators do that on forums. When they suspend somebody, they know they can't reply, so the moderators, which obviously get looked up to and people kiss ass on, will say this person's, suspended. When they come back, don't listen to them. They said this, and it, and literally lie. I've had screenshots and stuff on my other YouTube channel that got shut down that had information out. I literally exposed this stuff. So let me continue. He would show me a video, and I says, "Oh, where was that? Where did he go?" And he told me. So give me a minute, because I might have to block this out. Yeah, I have to do this. I can't do this. I asked the kid basically, please tell me you were wearing a respirator, because I could see all the asbestos on the floor. And I'm like, how long ago did you go there? And I was just asking. So this is just normal conversation that you need to understand how this kid, before this shit leads up to what's going on. All right, so I'm going to return this back on here, so give me a minute. Okay, so now he showed me his camera he uses. I have an Insta360 1X that I use. So then we're exchanging cameras. Now, I says, okay, how many floors is that asylum? Because it's a place I'd like to go to. And I says, also, would you explore that place at night? I like to night explore. I like the thrill of it. I like I like going in dark places and whatever. I'm usually by myself with somebody knowing where I am or close by, so I'm usually safe on that. So he says it's 20 buildings. Most of them are 2 floors, and I wouldn't because they have a security team. I says, okay. I says, how is that different during the day? So what doesn't make any sense here is urban explorers like to say, well, there's a security team. And wouldn't you be better off going at night because they can't see you? I don't understand the logic behind this, but whatever, that's their business. I mean, there are some places that do logically have the security teams at night are much higher, so it's a lot harder, or the places that are a lot more watch or whatever it is. I don't know the entire thing with this place, but it just, after knowing how this kid was, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. So anyway, he says, because during the day, I don't have lights flashing all around. I'm like, well, they have to know people go in there. Security has to know. Like, this security knows people go into these places. They know they do, and so because the places are too big and they attract too many people, too many things, too many urban explorers, too many groups. The stuff's on the internet, so it's not like it's a big surprise what's to security. And there's a lot of places where security doesn't even give a shit. Cops don't care. I mean, people coming out with hard hats waving the cop. The cops don't give a shit. As long as it's, because most of the time the places are getting explored, they're being filmed. They're not being destroyed. And so usually if the cops or security come out and see you with filming equipment, they know what you're doing in there. And they usually just say, get the fuck out of here. Sometimes they don't, but usually they do. If you're usually, more of an adult, not a child, you don't really have anything and you're pretty straightforward, they're pretty good about it. So anyway, let me continue. So this is why he doesn't go exploring at night. He says, I have a huge spotlight for my camera. It's a Lume Cube. Now, I want to explain. I have 4 lights. I use Bell and Howell light bars. I am lit up like a friggin' Christmas tree when I'm in there. So I'll get to a story after that. So anyway. I said, did you see the lights I use? And I was giving him, he's like, no, not yet. He hasn't seen my channel yet. So I was like, okay. All right. So now I'm going to have to block this out now because I got to check. I'm going to absolutely check to make sure there's no information going on here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, there's a picture of him. This kid sent me a picture of him next to his phone number. Now, this kid I'm talking to, I'll show you what he says. It's ridiculous. Okay, so now there's a picture I can't show on screen here. So let me get back to here. Okay, so now I'm going to point out up here. I'm like, that's the asshole or is that you? Because he kept calling the kid an asshole. He says, yeah, I do know what, I was asking him, do you know what he looks like? So I'm like, is that you or is that the asshole? He goes, yes, I do know what he looks like. Here he is finding his number written on the chalkboard of an abandoned school. That's the asshole. He says, name is Devin. The guy I'm talking to is AJ. I'm like, the kid didn't look like this. He says he looks like he looks like a bully who would get taught a lesson would get taught a lesson in an after-school special or PSA. Okay, so now this is interesting. He says, yep, pretty much. Ever since I guess apparently they're having some war where he is trolling his channel. So what wound up happening is he literally admits here to doxing the kid for a malicious purpose. Now that's what makes doxing illegal, is when you put somebody's information out there for a completely malicious purpose or knowing a malicious intent is going to come from that. Sorry, I'm really stuffed up. The air conditioner in my house is messed up. Okay, so anyway, he's like, yep. Ever since he started trolling my channel with fake accounts, I've been leaving his phone number in abandoned buildings, usually with I suck dick for free written under it. He gets the best phone calls. So he admits literally to doxing this kid. It's like right here. It's ridiculous. I said, okay. So now I'm switching the conversation back to the issue because I'm not really interested in these two fucking problems. This is a soap opera. So I says, okay, I actually found another location that he is that's pretty big in area. So it's basically a location that I found out. To make a long story short, I put up a picture of a place I had found, and it turned out he knew where it was. He knew what it was. So that's the next thing I'm going to get into. So let me cut this out scroll down to see if I can find out exactly where this is. So give me a minute. All right, so all right, so I can't disclose this part of the conversation because there's several pictures and there's several location names given. What happened was when I was doing the research for this, I just found it and I put it up. And he says, "Hey, that's this place." Now, when I did the research for it, the name came up completely different from the name he gave me. So when he asked me, "Are you?" I asked him. I says, "Are you sure that's the place?" And I said, "The reason I'm asking is because I got a different name." I said, "Is that the Urbex name for it? Or is that just you know?" Let me see. Actually, I'll show you. I can't show this. This is too much. I gotta figure out exactly how to get this on here. Yeah, I can't show this either. I'm trying to get the conversation into the window. Uh, so anyway, I was. So what happened was I found out this kid couldn't get the name of the Discord server that this other kid was hiding from him for whatever freaking reason. And basically, this is where the start of his attitude comes into play towards me. I actually talked to the kid he was talking to a long time ago. He just happened to be on one of the servers I happened to join. And what wound up happening, what wound up happening was I happened to re-message him. I messaged him again, and then I said for my own personal benefit, because I had gone through about 35 different Discord sites on Urbex and like several forums. It was it's turned into retarded kid stuff that nobody on there is an actual explorer. They're only on there to portray themselves as trying to explore, but none of them actually want to do it. And anything you say always gets twisted out of context. So if you say, "Hey, you want to go exploring?" Nobody's going to do that. Because nobody knows you. I says, "Okay, let's get into voice chat and then we'll video chat." "Why? What do you want? You a creep or something?" It's one thing after another. And then when you say, "All right, I'm not going to give you the place. I need some people. I'm looking for a couple people to go with me because it's a big place. Where are you going?" Like, I'm not going to freaking tell you. You don't even know who I am. And so it's just somebody just messaged me on here now. I'll give you a second. I'm going to read this. No, this kid's talking to me right now. Give me 1 second. All right, so excuse me for this. He's asking me, he's like, "Why did I leave the server?" And I basically said the same thing. Actually, I'm going to tell him I'm streaming right now. Give me 1 second. He's actually talking to me. I just asked him if he doesn't mind me getting it on the stream with him. Actually, you'll be able to hear it if he gets in the stream with me. Give me 1 second. This was unexpected. He's going to call me in a second. When anybody wants to talk, I always tell them to call me. All right, give me 1 second. Shit. Can you hear me or no? Can you hear me? Okay. So I can show your name on stream. You don't mind? Okay. I was double checking because I'm gonna put it on stream now. So give me a second. Okay. So just give me a second. I gotta re-explain to my viewers one quick thing. By the way, if you want to watch the stream, go ahead. I'll link it to you. But just so my viewers know, I did ask him permission. So he's in here, and as you can see, I clearly asked him. I says, I told him I'm streaming right now, discussing an incident happened. He wanted to know what happened, so I'll explain it because I'm literally in the middle of explaining that to my viewers right now what actually happened. Because my channel, in this channel, I make fun of people that just act really stupid. So if you actually want to join the stream, it might even be easier. But you can ask me questions through Discord. So I says, is it okay for me to show your name on stream? It's right here. I'm sorry, I'm discussing with my viewers. So I says, and he says, yeah, I don't mind. So there it is. I says, are you sure? He's like, yeah, okay. Okay, let me give you the link to the stream. Just bear with me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right, gotta get the stream link. All right, give me 1 second. I gotta get the stream link. I gotta figure out exactly how to fucking find this. This is the new shit on me, so I don't know what the hell is going on. Okay, here we go. Okay, I found it. All right, copy. All right, see if you can get this in here. All right, can you hear me now? Okay, yeah, it's when I can't like use both, so it may not even be talking in the stream. I don't know. It should be, but I don't know. All right, so go to that and let me know what you think. Let me know if you can hear me, because if that's the case, I got to be careful because I can still watch your you'd be able to hear me through the stream is what it comes down to. So yeah, just let me know when you get into it, and then if you can hear me, because that's key factor. If you can't hear me, then it doesn't matter. That's going to be a pain in the ass. So let me get back to this kid's conversation. Can you still hear me? Okay, you can hear. Okay, all right. I was double checking that. All right, so let me ask you a question. You can see this, right? You can still hear me? I'm not familiar with this whole setup. I don't really get into the technicalities on this shit. Okay, double checking. All right, so let me continue here on exactly what happened. Um, there's some stuff I got to block out due to the what's being shown. So it's kind of one of those odd things. Okay, so anyway, let me continue here. So basically, to bring you up to speed in this call, I'm assuming you know who Ghostly Urbex is, but my whole point of the stream is I'm making fun of his ass because he claims to be a grad student and absolutely has no basic grammar comprehension at all. And I kind of tied this together with what the hell's wrong with schooling in general, because college really does nothing for you. And when you have morons like this inside colleges that have this mentality, it doesn't give it a good light. Now, I'm not saying college is bad. I'm saying this is what's wrong. It's when people go to college and get this mentality, you have a serious problem with the way society does. And just so you know, what I do on my channel is I poke fun of fucking stupid people. My whole channel is filled with fucking developer hate for games and everything else. So you'll check it out, you'll see. So I swear a lot in my streams because the point to me swearing is me swearing and being derogatory is portraying how people that I'm talking about have to be talked to, and it kind of gets the mood in on exactly, maybe you feel this way about somebody else and things like that. So that's what baseline of my channel is. All right, so let me continue here explaining what is going on with this kid. Now, by the way, you may have noticed I changed my name because I don't want to give out the name of my YouTube channel for my urban exploring on this channel. I just try to keep them separate. So that's why you don't see my actual channel name anymore. All right, so I changed all my dialogue to reflect me in this server. I'm sorry, my YouTube stream. Okay, so basically to sum it up, Ghostly Urbex was fine with me, and his attitude started with me after I got the Discord name. What is he saying? Oh, thanks. All right, so after I got the Discord name, Ghostly Urbex was trying to help his friend get a Discord name from Skirix because Skirix wouldn't give it to him for some fucked up reason. And I'm like, what is this, a fucking soap opera? I don't give a shit what you guys do. But what happened was I had spoken to Skirix before, and I basically said, hey, I made a comment to him. I says, hey, are you exploring abandoned buildings right now? Because he is, he basically, under his name, it said, his status says he's exploring buildings. He's like, no, I'm not. They're like, oh, all right, sorry to bother you. And that was, I was like May 3rd or something like that. And then I talked to him again when I found out, I was just said, hey, because I kept running into like so many Discords and people are all acting like kids where they're putting on a front where they're portraying like they want to explore, but they don't. And so I just left the Discord server because of that. It's just stupid. I left another forum because of this and everything else. I'm just like, nobody's doing anything. I'm like, listen, if you want to explore, let's voice chat, video chat, and go explore. What the fuck's the problem? And so that's when he seemed legit at first, and then he was having a conversation with me, but his attitude toward me changed when I told him I got the name of the Discord server that he couldn't get. So here he is, friends with somebody who's in the Discord with him and friends with the kid that wouldn't give him the name, and he wouldn't give the kid their name, but he gave it to me. And so it's he gave it to me. So I can't give the information out. I won't do that because that's just because that would be like if you gave me a name of something, I wouldn't give it out. So it's nothing against him, and that's what I told him. So what happened was, just out of respect, like if he had given me a name of something, I wouldn't give it out because that's not I don't know why he's not giving him the name, and he basically made the mistake of trying to think I would roll over for him because he doesn't know. If you watch my YouTube channel, you'll see why I don't roll over for anybody. And so what I wound up doing was I wouldn't give him the name, and then slowly his attitude toward me changed. So I'm pretty positive me not giving him the name pissed him off because here I am, a total stranger, getting information. I literally asked the kid for it. I explained, I'm looking for some serious urbex. Do you belong to a group or do you belong to an actual group that's not mentioned anywhere? And I explained to him, I'm a professional magician. So I belong to a magician forum, but I'm not going to go give it out because it's not a place you just want all these people on. And it's not that I'm being an asshole. It's just, it's a legitimate magician's forum. It's like, so when I asked him that, I said, that situation with this is, I don't want to flood places, but the forum is listed under something you'll never find it. So it's the Discord server. The reason why they couldn't find it, it was listed under something they'll never guess. They won't ever guess it. And it's not that it's not public. Sort of. It's, I don't know, I wouldn't quite go that far, but my point is, you're talking about the regard that, they don't, are you talking about the regard that you want, if you're already part of something, you're not going to allow, Reddit, the cesspool of the fucking internet to infest it, because then it's just, it undermines the foundation of what it's for. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, exactly. Okay, that makes sense, though. Right, well, it's not that you don't want to advertise. It's just, it's like, okay, on YouTube, people watching a couple YouTube videos and then watching, Magic's Greatest Secrets Revealed doesn't make them a magician. They may think that, but that's not what it is. And, I've been doing magic since I was 4. I mean, I understand it, you know what I mean? Just like, I understand, I'm not going to go giving names of stuff out. So my point is that Urbex made the mistake of thinking I would roll over for him, and when I didn't, it's like he started doing things to create drama. Now, that's fine. I don't give a shit about that, but I'm going to show you. It's in this conversation if you want to laugh at how stupid this kid is. So what happened was, in another conversation, now, first of all, with me, I just insult people. Kids, guys, girls, I don't give a fuck. I insult everybody. And so if you're being stupid, I will insult you. Or if you're being retarded, to the point where you're acting a certain way, I'm going to say you're acting that way. And if people can get mad at me all they want, that's not polite. I'm like, okay, get fucking out of here. Don't act like it. It's funny because people act a certain way, and they act like you don't have any business saying something to them. And when you do, oh gosh forbid, I'm like, fuck off. Well, no, I'm talking like what, all right, case in point, I made a video about BLM versus Karen. If you go watch that video, you'll see what I'm talking about, because I made a lot of points in that video. It's just because of what I do and the way society is. So my point is, anybody in the comment section, I said it, everybody in the comment section, including the uploader of that video, is a fucking moron. And if you watch the video, you'll understand why. But let me continue here with this, and I'll show you what's going on here and what I'm talking about. So let me continue. I keep saying I'm going to show it, I don't. All right, so let me stop procrastinating. So anyway, what happened was, now I need to bring up a key point in this part of the conversation with Ghostly first. I need to bring up this part of the conversation first, because something that happened later on, this part of the conversation applies to. So what happened is, when he was looking for a place to go, so I put a screenshot up of this place I had found. It was pretty big. And when I found the name of this place, it was not listed under what he said it was. Now, I said, are you sure that's the name? Because I looked it up and I found it under another name. That's why I'm asking. He goes, oh, it's also known as this. So he listed it right here. Now, the reason why I'm showing this is because this is a common place everybody knows. So in Forest Haven, if you look this up, it's not listed as Forest Haven. It's listed as the DC Children's Center. So now he full well knows that why I asked it. I explained it. It's a legitimate reasoning why I said. Now, I never said he was wrong. I just said, are you sure? Because I found it under another name and I couldn't remember it off the top of my head. Now, if you take a look, he is the one that actually put the name out. He said it right here. So what happened was, this part of the conversation is important to remember later on from when I show you what happened. Okay, yeah. So it's a place. It's pretty big. Now, when I showed him the screenshot, I didn't say where it was, and I blacked everything out. But the point here is that you have to remember, because this is why when I make fun of somebody, I go all out. I show everything that leads up to this, and so you might actually have had happen to you what happened to me, and you might identify with this. So okay, so anyway, the point is that he listed the second name. He goes, also known as DC. Now, when I talked to him, I says, that's what the name I found at the place under, and that's why I asked. Now, that's a legitimate thing. So he didn't seem to have an issue with me doing that. So let me continue here. So now he's going back. He's going back on the kid he doesn't like. So this is after I told him I had gotten the name of the kid. And the reason why I said I found the name, I says, he's only belongs to one server. Don't worry about it. He doesn't really know. He's not. The vibe you're getting is wrong. I was like, don't worry about it. Don't. He was basically saying that to him, because he didn't have the information, it's like, oh, what are you hiding from me? But if he had the name of it, there would be like nothing that this kid could do to him. It's like it's pissing him off that he can't get the name of this. So it's almost like he can't get his way. So it's almost like if he knew what the name was, he'd be like, all right, this kid's got nothing on me now. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what the point here is that he's like, now he's trying to do what I call talking ahead. So what a talking ahead does, a lot of moderators do this on forums. And this is why I usually don't join forums, is because a moderator will cause a problem, suspend the person they cause a problem with, and because they're a moderator and have some power that they can do, most of the people here are either A, afraid to say something to the moderator due to the moderator suspending them, or B, they actually side with the moderator no matter what the moderator says, regardless, because what leads up to a problem apparently isn't important. You know what I mean? Gosh forbid, why would you look at that? I mean, court systems don't work that way, do they? So anyway, of course the internet doesn't work that way, but the main problem, I've done many videos on forums on how stupid forums are because of the way they operate, just the stupidity level. But that's why I don't have moderators in my chats and anything else. I made plenty of videos on the abuse of power that I fucking can't stand. So anyway, let me continue here. So he's basically trying to get across to me, and again, he made the mistake that I'm not normal. I'm not a person that gives a shit. You could tell me somebody fucking murdered you or murdered somebody you knew, and that wouldn't faze me. You know what I mean? Like, you're trying to get me to hate somebody I don't even know by saying all this shit, and I don't give a shit. The mistake that he made, I'm like, this is literally what I'm talking about right now is like you caring about my friend's boat. It literally has no meaning at all. Well, no, it's typical. See, this is the thing. I'm an entertainer, and I just understand how people's minds work when it comes to this shit. So that's why I'm a lot more... I can step back and look at situations that a lot of people don't do. And it's not that they don't do it on purpose. It's just that's how you're conditioned to look at it. So that's why I said a good factor on... I'm not going back to that server. They actually kicked me out because he went in there. And they kicked me out of one server. I don't know if that was it. Yeah, what happened was he went in there and said something, and then somebody else from the forum that had followed me into another server followed me over there, and then they both teamed up on me, and without a word at all, one of them was a moderator. And so I'll get to that in a minute. Let me continue. So I'll get to all that in a minute. Yeah, just don't worry about it. See, that's the thing. It doesn't bother me. It seems to bother you more than it. I don't give a shit, because if they're going to kick you out of a server, it's not worth joining. It's not worth being a part of. And besides, everybody that was in that server is legitimate is already on my friends list for Discord. So it's not like I'm missing anything. So let me continue. Let me see. Where was I? Okay, so this all leads together. So you'll start finding out why I find this funny. And so, okay, now, this is when I told him. That's the same thing I told you. That's right here. If you would trust me, I wouldn't tell him. I says, yeah, the dude hates me and probably won't give me... I'm like, I can't... He wants me to tell him, and I wouldn't tell him. I says, all I did was ask him. I did. All I did was I asked him. And so he gave it to me. He doesn't know who the fuck I am. He doesn't know why I talk. He doesn't even know I'm friends with. He doesn't know I know these people. So it's not like he gave it to me out of spite. He just gave it to me because I asked, and I said, hey, I'm wondering, do you know any actual legitimate like places? Because everybody else is acting like a kid. It's ridiculous. So anyway, what ended up happening is again, he's like, yeah, the dude hates me and won't give it to me. Because I said, why don't you just ask him? And so he's like, well, the dude hates me and won't give it to his friend. He's like, what's he hiding? I says, if you would trusted me with the name of something and asked me not to give it out, I would respect that as well. Trust me, he isn't hiding anything. So he's like, well, then it's slightly different because he was incredibly attentive to his friend Jay. He's basically, I don't know what the hell this kid's talking about at this point, but basically he's pissed off that I got the name that he couldn't get. And so he's trying to nitpick information. Look at how ridiculous this is. And so the thing with me is, you can't talk to me. I don't want to say you can't talk to me like this. You can't, when you talk to me like this, I start analyzing what you're talking about. Even if there's nothing there, I'll analyze it. So what happens here is, what this he's doing, and I'm sure you've seen this happen, is because he didn't have the name, he was trying the next best thing, which was to get additional information and hints out of me to try to find it himself. And so I'm really good at picking up on things. Now, I don't want to make it like an egotistical, but there are just some things that are hidden within conversations that people like to disguise as other things when their other intent is fucking malicious. So the point here is, regardless of what he said to me, regardless of that, I don't know why he would not give him the information, and I wasn't listening to what he was telling me about him as far as, taking it, whatever. In one ear and out the other. Great. I don't know what your issues are, but he's not giving it to you for a reason. I'm not giving it to you. And so basically he was trying to hint. I'm like, I didn't give you any hints. I says, the only reason you can't find it is because it's not named something you will ever find. And I said, for whatever reason. And I said, that's between you and him, and I'm not giving it to you. So I won't do that. So that's, again, it's the same thing I told you, And so what I wound up doing was I refused to give him the name, period. And then, again, from that point on, his attitude started changing for me. So I asked the kid for an invite to the server, and he never got back to me. I said, I don't know how many people were in the server, because then he started asking me how many people is in it. So I'm like, I don't know, I wasn't in it. But I says, all I know is I have the name of it now. And so it's funny, because I got the name of it within like 20 minutes. Yeah, I guess apparently he's been trying to get the name of it for like years and couldn't get it from him. I'm not going to tell you whether it is or not. I'm just going to tell you it's named something you will never find. It's like the magician forum I belong to. It's an abnormal name that you would never ever be able to look for because of the way it's named. And that's the thing is like, I can say that with certainty just because I understand. I can't explain it. Because some people are like, how do you know what I know? It's just when something is set up like this in the situation. If I told you what it was, you'd understand, but I can't say it what it is. So let's put it this way: it's not something you'll ever find. So anyway, let me continue here. I was originally going to voice chat him, and that's what I was going to tell him. I got the name of the thing. So basically, I was telling him, if you're worried about somebody having some secret from you, you don't have to worry about it. It's not really anything you have to worry about. That's really what I was doing to him, and maybe that wasn't my place to do, but it was just a point where if somebody's going this hell-bent on trying to badmouth somebody, there's something's wrong, or at least whatever. And so I refuse to get in the middle of that. This is a fucking soap opera to me. That's what it comes down to. All right, so anyway, let me fast forward. All right. I actually finally wound up getting a hold of this kid. And then he had a conversation. I had a conversation, and he started telling me stuff about this that, I was just laughing. I was like, I actually feel bad for this kid. I couldn't even get mad at him because of the stupidity level, the ultra stupidity level that this was at. So let me go further up here and explain. Now, now he starts. Now, if you look at the tone of how it was at the very beginning, and then you look at this tone here, you can start to see it changing as far as what he said. I says, hey, now I asked him. I says, hey, would you want to put him in touch with me? Because I didn't know if he knew much about exploring. I didn't even know who this kid was, or who this person was, I should say. And so when I says, hey, you want to put him in touch with me? I'll be glad to talk to him about whatever, because I don't know if he knows anything or whatever. We share ideas. And he says, just so you can tell him the same thing you told me, that you can't help him either. Like, what kind of comment is that? So you can start to see where his attitude toward me starts changing now. Because before it was great. Now it was like, okay, now he's looking, it's almost like he's looking for an argument. So, now the thing with me is, if you want to troll me, I'll fucking troll you till the cows come home. I'll fucking argue with you and debate. I don't give a fuck. I don't. But, yeah, when I'm talking to you, I'm also explaining this to the viewers themselves. So, I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone. So, everything I've told you, my viewers have heard. So, all right, let me continue here. So anyway, so I was making a comment, because this is my sarcastic nature. I says, so I was making a comment. So this comment here is a reply from this and this. He wrote something in between, but my comment right here that I have highlighted goes to this part and this part. So I'll put it into context for you. He goes, I says, you want to put him in contact with me? He's like, just so you can tell him the same thing you told me, that you can't help him either? I'm like, no. I said, but that would be amusing. I says, hey, I got something to tell you. What is it? Really? What is it? Oh, nothing. You know what I mean? That's what the freaking thing came off as. So I was like, yeah, I can picture that now. That's something I do. Hey, guess what? What? Oh, I don't know. You know what I mean? Just get your hopes up and just piss you off like that. So anyway, because that's stuff I've said to people. I've run up to my friend excited one time. I was like, hey, guess what? You'll never guess what happened. He's like, what? I'm like, oh, nothing. I just always wanted to run up to you and say that to you. I'm such an asshole. So I know people aren't supposed to laugh at their own jokes, but that's fucking funny. So anyway, I do all sorts of shit. My wife gets aggravated with me sometimes. So anyway, she goes, so is there a point for him to reach out then? I'm like, nope. I'm like, does he go with you? Is he one of the people you explore with? As far as I was referring to some fucking mountain guy, whatever the hell his name is. So he's like, he's more, basically, I don't know what the hell's going on here. This is conversation that's just pointless. So let me scroll through here. So what place are you talking about? Blah, 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 blah. All right, so I guess apparently he was going someplace, and I was like, I'll be free to go second week in August if you want to go with another person, whatever. He's like, yeah, we're going August 7th and 9th. I'm like, where? He's like, Maryland, blah, blah, blah. So we're talking about this. Now, he still has a grudge against me. I didn't figure it out till later on that this is what happened. So he's telling me all these places. Those are all common places. Just so everybody knows, those are all common places that urban explorers go to. So these are not like super secret locations that aren't there. All right. So anyway, sorry, I'm still laughing because I explore at night. I'm like, do you guys explore at night? Oh, we don't explore at night. I'm like, any reason why? We sleep at night. We explore during the day. I get that's your thing, but it's not ours. See, now here he comes again. Now, if you take a look at the way his sentence are phrased, it's totally uncalled for him to say, I get that it's yours, but it's not ours because and he's like, we just don't go exploring at night because we don't. There's no reason at all to put that in there unless you're aggravated with somebody. He goes, I'm like, any reason why? Because I'm just asking. I'm like, well, why are you asking? Why do you have a reason for not going at night? I mean, whatever the reason's cool. I was just curious to why. And he puts it in like, I get that's your thing, but it's not ours. Like, as if I was going to fucking try to convince him to go at night. I was just asking why. So my point is that now you can, like I said, you can start to see from the comments that he's saying his attitude toward me has changed. So I was like, no, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just asking why. Everyone has their own thing. And he's like, I told you why. Instead of saying, oh, okay, I see what you're saying, he points that out. Now, take into account, this is just how he is. Okay, fine. I let it go. I didn't say anything. So He's like, I'll explore. Now, he's a ghost hunter. Keeping in mind, he does paranormal stuff. Okay, so that's another factor. Night's fucking awesome. I love exploring at night. I love getting freaked out. It's fucking weird. Like, some people who go skydiving love the thrill of adrenaline. I just like going into places at night because they're fucking spooky. It's fucking weird. I'm weird like that. So it doesn't bother me because I'm a professional magician. So the reason why I brought that up is because he does paranormal shit. And so that ties into something else. So that ties into this gets better. This just gets better and better and better. Because it'll start, when you start understanding where the problems start arising, you'll just start laughing, and it just gets get funnier and funnier. Like, how does somebody become this bad? Okay, so let me go on. Now, this is where the shit storm started. Now, I was talking to him prior to July 21st. So all of this stuff, it was on the 20th. All right, so he's like, I'll explore cemeteries at night and everything else. Okay, whatever, cool. Now, I can't give you the conversations that happened in the Discord because they're a lot of the Discord. But if I go back in, the conversations will still be there because I was there. But if I go back in, they're just going to kick me back out if they find me in there. So there's no point. But if I really could, I would just fucking show. But the other thing too is there's other locations inside those conversations I'm not at liberty to be giving out, and it's not my Discord. So just out of respect out of that, that's fine. So all right, hold on. So anyway, let me continue here. All right, so now what happened is, let me fill you in on the missing parts now, because one thing about me, you'll notice, or you'll find really fast, Jordy, is that, and my viewers know this about me, and it's all over my channel, is when I explain something, I don't butcher it. I explain all parts of it in the order it happened, including the shit I did. So my point is, when I give you information on a story, it's the entire thing from start to finish in context with everything there. So that's why it makes it friggin' funny. And the problem with people have talking to me is, if you start becoming an asshole to me, I will tell you, I will become so fucking annoying, you will block me. I says, if you start being a prick to me, I will go out of my way to piss you off. That's childish. But it's one of these things I'm like, you want to fucking troll? Let's troll. I guarantee you I will aggravate you because nothing you say to me fucking pisses me off. And so you'll start to see that in this conversation. So let me fill you in on what happened, because this is where the shit got hit the fan. Now, keeping in mind, he's already pissed at me because I wouldn't give him the location, on top of being pissed off that the kid gave me the location he couldn't get. Then I wouldn't give him any hints. So you have to keep those three things in mind. Also, he's a ghost hunter, or does paranormal stuff. And remember, he gave me the second name of the asylum. So those key factors that you have to remember. Okay, so let me continue. What happens now? I'm sorry, this is just, I can't, if I start laughing, it's because the stupidity level of this was so out there. It's like, have you ever met somebody you're so stupid you just can't get mad at? So let me continue. Somewhere along in the conversation, oh, sorry, I'm reading what he says. Okay, that's fine. Somewhere along in the conversations, I'll sum this up real fast, and then I'll scroll through the conversation with him, because there's more to this. There's more down here. So somewhere along the lines, I started getting teamed up against inside the chat because I had mentioned, I'm a magician, and I had posted a tutorial to one of the tricks, and that's when shit started. Now, one of the other people that had followed me from one of the other forums was also in this channel, who did it again. So he was already, they would say shit they know other people didn't like to get me to reply to it, just so that would start a fight. Not that I would reply, but I'm like, whatever. So he asked me, do you believe in ghosts? Knowing what my answer would be would piss off Urbex. So I says, no, because they know I don't believe in it because it's on my other channel. So, and not that if people want to believe it, go right ahead. I said, no, I don't. I says, that's just me. And so he goes, they're like, it's legitimate. I'm like, okay. What do you want me to say, And so they go, explain this picture. I says, okay, off the top of my head, double exposure, dust on the lens. You shot it from inside a window and there's a reflection out back. I mean, that's just off the top of my head. Then they started shitstorming me, the two of them, right? And I says, you guys asked me, do I believe in ghosts? I told you no. And then you asked me to explain this. I'm like, what's the problem? I did. I says, okay, I said, believe what you want. Okay. So then I turn around, and then I said to Urbex, I says, now, because I was saying all these ridiculous comments. I'm like, this conversation is about as entertaining as a fucking school bus fire. And I showed a picture of like a school bus on fire. And another one was, I took a clip from Gone in 60 Seconds, the remake with Nicolas Cage, and I'm like, it's like a little boy's nursery school I've come upon here. So it's one of these things that, now they can do whatever they want. Just keep in mind, this doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? People get bent out of shape about this shit. I'm like, dude, you're on the fucking internet. It's like, all right, whatever. So anyway, the point here is that they started pigpiling on me. Now, I told them, I says, I told Urbex, Ghostly, I told him, I says, you're starting to look like a monkey with Down syndrome because of the way you're acting. He went ballistic, going into channel after channel after channel, in fucking other places he invited me to. He called me a monkey with Down syndrome. You said I was a monkey with Down syndrome. Now, this is where the title of the video comes in. Apparently, grammar comprehension is not needed for grad students who are getting master's degrees and PhDs. Apparently, grammar isn't apparently, according to him, a grad student, grammar isn't needed. It's not necessary. You don't need to know grammar for any of that shit. Oh no, it's just college, So he starts throwing his education at my face, telling me he's a grad student, telling me he's this. And then he starts up with, you didn't even know the name of the asylum you told me. You said it wasn't this. And if you look back at the conversation, I never said it wasn't. I says, are you sure, because of what I was asking? And then he himself gave me the other name. And if you look it up, you'll find that name under that I found it under. And so what happens is I don't even know how it went from him being pissed off from me not giving them the name, not getting the name, to now he's smarter than me because he has an education. And then him going around telling people I called him a monkey with Down syndrome. So now when I said, if you want to fucking troll and go down that road, I'm going to fucking irritate the shit out of you. So, for somebody who's fucking educated, explain to me how they cannot distinguish and differentiate what somebody says you're looking like one because of how you're acting to you are one. I says, you don't even know basic grammar, and you're sitting there telling me you're educated with a grad student. If somebody's a grad student and they don't understand the difference between when somebody says you're starting to look like a monkey with Down syndrome because of how you're acting, and they turn that into, you said I was one, on top of that, then they started throwing around irrelevant shit. And then I was like, that's a lie. And I says, show me where I called you that. He literally copied verbatim what I said. And he says, see, it's right here. I says, yeah, it says, I said you look like one because of how you're acting. It says the same thing. This kid's not too fucking educated. So my point, this gets better though. If you think that's bad, this gets better because apparently, like I said, he's pretty educated, but he can't even get the basic grammar comprehension down of the structure of language. It's fucking ridiculous. Okay, that's fine. I'll talk to you later, man. I'm just going to continue talking anyway. Yeah, by the way, this stream is live, so if you want to watch the rest of it afterwards, go ahead. All right, man. No problem. See ya. Got a fly in this room. All right, so let me continue. So anyway, after all that shit, things toned down. I says, hey, you all set? Did you get that out of your system now? I'm like, just so you know, nothing you said bothers me. I didn't know if he was just being a stupid ass or, whatever. Apparently he was being legit, though. He was really pissed off at this. Look, he's like, okay, now, for somebody who's educated, he can't get grammar. First of all, he removed the context of what I said, totally changing it, lied about what I said, and then starts throwing around information like I was the dumb one when he was the one that gave me the information on the fucking name of the site in the first place. How can somebody be this fucking stupid? So anyway, let me continue. He goes, look, I don't want to argue. Now he's saying he doesn't want to argue with me. He continues arguing with me for this long, for somebody who doesn't want to argue. Oh yeah, it goes on and on and on. Hold on, let me go back here. So I'm like, okay. He goes, because he kept trying to freaking avoid the topic, and I kept saying, I didn't call you that, because he kept saying it, so I followed him around telling him, I didn't call you that. He kept telling me, I'm like, I didn't call you that. So he goes, look, I don't want to argue anymore, but no one is going to call me a retarded ape. I don't give a fuck about who you are or what you think you are. He says, I didn't call you a retarded ape. Do you even read anything you type? I said, you're starting to look like one due to how you were acting. Now, here's the actual, here it is. Here's the actual statement. If you read it, it says, you're starting to look like a brain-dead monkey with Down syndrome. Stop changing conversation. It isn't. So he's selective, just so you know, he selectively takes parts of the conversation after it's already been going and then posts it. It's fucking hilarious. He goes, oh, looking like what is... He's still trying to change the context for somebody who's this... Now, normally this isn't a problem. Nobody gives a shit. To him, he's going to be the same thing. That's not even what this argument was about from my end anymore. He's pissed off because he's saying I called him that. I'm like, dude, I didn't... All I kept saying was, I didn't call you that. Learn to read it. Like, I says, yes, it says, you are starting to look like one. You are starting to look like one. Saying you are one is a far jump. I'm not going to argue. I'm like, I get where you're coming from, and there is no argument. He goes, you don't have to belittle me to get what you want. Where the fuck did this come from? So you don't have to call me stupid either, because I'm not a kid. I'm in grad school. So here he is. I'm in grad school, and I'm doing well for my life. I don't have to explain that to you, but I'm not going to be treated like I'm less than a person. I says, just for future reference, you might want to understand the difference between someone saying you should have something happen is not the same thing as you should have happened. Same with what I said. Saying you look like one because of how you're acting isn't the same as saying you are one. Huge difference. No one said you were a kid. Because he said, oh, you're a kid. Oh, I didn't call you a kid. You're not getting anywhere. Oh, stop trying. So this is, again, keeping in mind he doesn't want to argue, though. I'm not here to argue with you. So anyway, okay, dude. Don't type in the future, just don't do it. I'm like, fair enough. And then he's like, he won't let it go. He's like, he doesn't want to argue. I'm like, fair enough. And I even said up here, I'm like, you should, I said, that's all I'm saying. And I says, fair enough. And he just couldn't leave it alone. He's like, it's that simple. I'm like, well, you should also learn the difference when somebody says you're acting a certain way is not the same thing as saying you are that way. No, you should learn to shut the fuck up and drop things. Stop going around in circles. So he wants me to drop it while keep taking it up, keep saying it. About a lie he did that he doesn't want to argue about while arguing with me. It's fucking hilarious. And I told him there was a court case in this particular instance where there was a radio person who said this girl needs to be raped, and when the girl got raped, by the way, this came from Law and Order, but the principle of the courtroom for how this stands is actually real. I looked it up. Not the case itself, but the the situation on the way you phrase something really has to do with what actually happens. So one way is relevant. The other way is if a person wants to take it that way, that's fine, but the person's fucking retarded for taking it that way. All right, so anyway, it's like it's this court case where there was a radio person who said the girl needs to be raped, and when someone did rape her, they tried saying the radio DJ said to say it, and the radio DJ won the case because saying someone should is not the same thing as someone saying to do it. The wording makes every bit of difference. You cannot change the context of what somebody says due to not liking the sentence. So at this point, a normal, rational human being would have realized this and say, okay, yeah, okay, whatever. Or they wouldn't have even brought this up in the first place. So he goes, I never said I didn't like the sentence. I says, I didn't like the insult. I said, wasn't my point. I said, what's your point? Stop going in circles. So he keeps asking me what my point is. I keep telling him, and he keeps saying, what's my point? So I understand what you're saying about the context, but you act like you don't know anything, and that's annoying. You act like you don't know anything, and that's annoying. What does that even fucking mean? Leave me alone. So he says, leave me alone, please. It's clear nothing I say matters to you because you think whatever you want to. And I was like, if someone is acting like an idiot, then they're going to get called an idiot or get called out for acting like an idiot. The person who gets called out cannot then argue against somebody getting called an idiot. They were told they were acting like an idiot. The person who got called out cannot then play victim. It's like, oh, you called me an idiot. Stop fucking acting like an idiot. Oh, you're acting like an idiot. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. Leave me alone. So, this is... he says, leave me alone while wanting a reply. So I replied. And he's like, I don't care. Leave me alone. So now he doesn't care. So how about he's like telling me don't type it. I'm like, okay, then don't act like something and you won't get called out for acting like that. You were acting like you're a king and I have to bow down to you. So now this is again, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Doesn't remove me from his friends list. Doesn't do anything. Just says leave me alone. But then keeps replying to me. I'm like, stop acting like a child. I says, I'll bet now you'll call, because now he wants to stop being stupid, throwing shit around. I'm like, stop acting like a child. And I says, I'll bet now you'll say that I called you a child. Because it's the same concept. He goes, I'm acting like a child? I'm like, yeah, I'm telling you to leave me alone. You keep going. Because you can't accept what you lied, because he's lied and lied. So it's one of these people that wants to go around and lie, but doesn't want to accept the responsibility for it when the person that they lied about keeps confronting him about lying. And then on top of that, he keeps replying to me and the replies he's typing are warranted, like he's instigating replies. So I'm giving them to him. That's right, I said them. And what's funny is I told him beforehand, before this shit started, I says, you want to go down this route, I am going to act like a complete and utter fucking asshole to you if you're going to do this to me. And I says, fine, whatever. He's like, now he's saying, leave me alone, but we can call on this channel and be civil. Now he starts throwing this, we can be civil. This person doesn't know what the fuck that they want. It's so funny. So like, why do you lie about someone, then say leave me alone when you get called out? I'm not lying about anything. What am I lying about? So I says, you lied when you said I called you a monkey with Down syndrome. You can't even type, man. I says, I never called you that, so now you're lying about not lying. I never called you a monkey with Down syndrome, so stop telling people I called you that. He asked me, what am I lying about? So I replied. He keeps asking me why I'm replying to him. This is fucking hilarious. So you said you're acting like one. That's pretty close to saying it. Now he's trying to bend the definition so he can be right. So like, it's not the same thing, I agree, but we don't need to go around in circles. I said, stop telling people I called you a monkey with Down syndrome. I didn't. I said, you did. Now, he did say that. I can pull it up. If I go into these discords, I can literally pull up where he said he called me a monkey with Down syndrome. So he's lying, and then he's lying about not lying. It's so fucking funny. So he goes, I did. He goes, because that is a lie. You said I called you a monkey with Down syndrome in every conversation. He pretty much did it in every conversation in the general chat. Stop being... So now he's saying, after he pulled that shit, he says, stop being a fucking asshole to me. Keeping in mind, I told him that I was going to become an asshole to him. You're not gaining anything by doing that. I said, this is what happens when you lie to me and then you deny you lied. Stop going around in circles. That's what a fucking child does. I said, stop lying and denying you're lying. So he's like, he's telling me to stop what he's doing while continuing to do what he's doing. Then saying, leave me alone, but wanting replies, and then asking me questions when I'm answering. He's like, why the fuck are you talking to me? It's so funny. So he goes, he doesn't like what I said. I says, I don't like what you did. I says, you don't like what I said any more than I like lying about you. I'm sorry you think I lied. Now he's completely in denial. Like, I never said that. If you said in a channel, I said he called me a monkey with Down syndrome, and then I said, you're telling people I called you that when I clearly didn't, and then you say, I didn't lie. It's like, no one fight. Now it's the who cares comment. No one except for you. I'm like, who cares? If you got offended at the comment, I said, then if you don't care, then why are you making a big deal about this? And now I'm starting to ask him questions that it's like, it's showing him how retarded he's being. Apparently you, it says, you lied, period. And the point here is this person is one of these people who go around and think that they can fucking lie about anything that they want, change around the context of what anybody wants, without any consequences whatsoever. And if so, how dare anybody go back after them? Now, here's the thing. This entire conversation is nonsense. It doesn't mean a thing. It's funny to fucking read, though. So anyway, said, you're the one who made a point. All right, so he goes, you cares? All right, you're the only one making a big deal about this. But he went into every fucking channel I was in and fucking started doing this, but I'm the one making a big deal. Sorry, but this kid's fucking retarded. Now I am calling the kid retarded because he's being retarded. He isn't even acting retarded anymore. This has gone beyond acting. He's point blank being a retard in this. So anyway, let me continue. I'm like, you're the one who made it a point to make sure you said it 16 times in chat, even brought it into other chats. And who cared? Now here's the who cares again. I'm like, yet I'm making a big deal out of this. If who cares, then why are you bringing it up 16 times? Why are you in my inbox? Are you just trying to start an argument? What? Now he's like, he's totally oblivious, like he doesn't even know who the fuck I am. It's keep going. Watch how brain dead this kid is. Stop asking stupid questions. Seriously. Why am I in his inbox? Because he talked to me. He's like, you're not worth my time anymore. I'm like, next time, don't lie. Next time, shut the fuck up. Next time, don't type it. I already told you. If you lied, I was going to become extremely annoying. Why are you acting surprised? See, I tell people exactly what I'm going to do, and then they fucking act surprised. It's so funny. That's that fucking simple. I said, next time, don't act the way, and I won't type it. It's simple. You're correct. What's funny is he's getting mad because I keep applying what he's saying to himself, but he can't have it. No. I mean, this is just typical shit. So, how can I know what not to act like if I don't know why you're calling me that, or said it's how I act, whatever. He doesn't even know what the fuck he's trying to argue now. I says, it works like this. You act a certain way, then argue when somebody calls you out on it, as if they started something. Don't act like a troll, and you won't give anybody a reason to type it. You cannot then turn that back against someone. And I said, keep reading that until you understand it. He's not going to read it. It says, didn't you say you were leaving the server? I says, I says, factor here is, this kid can't fucking understand a damn thing that's being typed, or he's just trying to purposely be stupid. But regardless, how can somebody with a PhD be this fucking stupid that they can't even get simple grammar comprehension? This is now the third thing. I says, I'm thinking about, what I said in the main chat was, I'm thinking about leaving the server because there's nothing here for me. Once again, without fucking fail, didn't you say you were leaving the server? No, I didn't say that because that's not what I fucking put. I'm not continuing this conversation. He's like, you did say it. I says, no, I said, I'm thinking about it. I said, you started it by lying. You're in my inbox bitching because you lied. Stop being a cunt. Cunt, huh? And that's when I said, cut up, not toasted. That's how I like my sandwiches, thanks. So, we established that, LOL. We're done with that. You're still going on and on and on. Why? You're not getting anywhere. He says, now what am I doing? And you are? I said, you know, I'm like, you're getting somewhere yourself? You're going on and on about you lied. If I'm not getting anywhere, why do you think you are? We fucking established this. I says, you asked me what my issue was, and when I answer, you asked me why I'm talking. Exactly how stupid are you to ask people questions that basically cuss them out for answering? What kind of sick situation is that? I'm talking to you because you keep asking me fucking questions. So why are you getting mad when I answer you? Okay, now here it is again. Black and white. I'm probably going to leave this server. But yeah, you didn't type that. Who did? I says, how do you go from I'm probably going to leave to didn't you say you were leaving the server? Nope. You did. No, I says I'm probably going to leave. So the point I'm making here is that this kid just doesn't have any comprehension at all. He cannot distinguish what a maybe, and I started asking him this. I said, he's like, seriously, you act like you're so innocent you are. And I'm like, learn to read, learn to type, because he's taking my sentence. I'm like, you keep taking every word in sentence, changing it into something it does not say. My typing is irrelevant to you not reading. Well, whatever, man. I says, it says probably going to leave. How do you take a word that means a possibility and turn it into you said you are? I said, explain that to me. Because that's the third fucking thing he changed around for, like, how did this fucking kid become a grad student? He is, where did you learn to spell? Explain how you call me dumb by misspelling every fucking word. Explain to me how you take a word that says I might, change it into something it means you said definitely. I also want you to explain to me how to take you are starting to look and then insert the sentence because of how you're looking and then change it into I said you acted that way. Leave me alone. How many fucking times do I have to say that? Seriously, you're fucking a maniac. That's the end of the conversation. He finally unfriended me, which is what I told him to do it, which is what I said in the first place. I says, I'll become so fucking annoying, you're going to block me. So the point here is that this is why it's people like this on why I actually left the Discord server, because this is the shit that all pretty much the Urbix communities have turned into. It's basic fucktards like this who don't know anything that's going on. And so this kid made a mistake of, like, I says, and I also said to him in voice chat, I says, I'm going to fucking put this on the internet, dude. Not that it matters. Like, that doesn't really matter either, because people are like, I'm taking this conversation, putting it on the internet. You know who gives a shit about this conversation? Only the people involved in it, if that, and some of the viewers. That's it. So it's like if you put something up about, you know, some guy stuffed candy bars in his ass. You know who's going to give a shit about that? The person who copied it and maybe some other people that might get a laugh. Other than that, it serves literally great. Put it on the fucking internet. You know? And so if you have everything involved in a conversation like this and it's exposed out in the open, yeah, great. People fucking lie. It just happens. But the main reason I went after this kid, who's childish, I'll admit that. I got no fucking problems. But I point blank told the kid, I'm not the person you want to be fucking doing this to. Now, this, if somebody's like this, they're probably not going to change. But on occasion, I know what I did is going to piss this kid off. I know he's going to think about this for a while, just like the guy who wouldn't give him the fucking server name. So it's like, why is it when somebody starts off cool with you, they start using stuff you said earlier on as a weapon? Like, what is wrong with people? It's like, they say, he's like, haha, he didn't know the name of the asylum. I'm like, okay. Like, what does that mean? Like, but the conversation shows that that wasn't even like, I didn't know the name. I just asked him, are you sure? Because that's not the name I found it under, and that's why I'm asking. So the point here is that it's just funny watching a person that gets so aggravated with something that they literally get to the point where I don't know. Maybe he can read, and whenever he gets mad, he just can't think. I don't know. But seriously, anybody who can't define, you're starting to look like one because of how you're acting, and then turns that into you are, and then takes the word probably and turns that into a definite, and then starts taking stuff that he himself gave you and acting like you are a troll or something for how could you be an urban explorer and not know the name of that? And I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? And so it's just funny to watch all the shit come back. And it's like this, I actually feel bad for this kid because, like I said, there's some people that, they're just like, yeah, whatever. But then there's just people you just feel bad for because they are this stupid. And like I said, he starts throwing his like education in my face. He did that in other channels. It wasn't just here. He did it like he said it subtly here, but he's like trying to say, I'm smart, I got a grad, but that's not the way he was used. He weaponized that in other chats. And it's funny because, and then apparently the kid I talked to, his buddy there also confirmed, say he does that a lot when he says, he told me, the person that I wound up talking to, that his buddy was saying that he took something that he said out of context. He's like, he got so mad. He's like, what the fuck is your problem? He's like, that's just how he is. So I just think it's really funny how somebody throwing their education around at you can't even read basic sentences and doesn't even have the comprehension level to understand basic wordings and what the difference between them is. It's ridiculously funny. So that's about the extent of this. I've been babbling on enough. So hopefully that's it. Hopefully the kid learns his lesson. But it's like really, really, really. So I'm not really sure what to say on that, but that's it. So I'm just going to shut this chat off. I'm actually going to get that out of the way now. And that's it. So I'm just going to wait and see if anybody wants to, throw any other conversations in or, conversation pieces in on this. Or weigh in on this conversation, I should say. And then that's it. But there's really nothing more for me to say about this. So I just wanted to share that story with you, like I do on all my, on whenever I get into a conversation like that. I mean, like I said, I've done it with Steam users. Nobody's exempt from this with me, but I just do it because it's an interesting entertainment section. If you look at it, it's what I titled is what I have the category labeled as. It's entertainment, but it's just funny because people like this actually exist, and I feel bad for them that I got a hold of them. Again, it's not going to really matter. It's not going to change anything. I'm probably already got in one ear or the other with him. This has to go on my channel. Sorry, it just does because it's a stupid conversation, and that's just what I do. So anyway, listen, I'm gonna end this stream. I'm in the process of making another stream right now because there's a couple other things I want to go over that a lot of people on the internet are being stupid with, and just the political correctness of a bunch of things. And the next video, that video is going to be fucking hated because of what I'm going to talk into it. But hate it, love it, doesn't matter. The facts are the facts, and the comparisons I'm making, I'm pulling up some really good comparisons here. And that's about it. So hopefully everybody has a wonderful night. And if you ever want to see stupidity, whether it's me bitching about games, ranting about this, or just see how stupid people are that I point out, you can get a good laugh out of some of the stuff I posted. So until then, this is TL Gamer signing off. You guys have a good day or night wherever you are. See you.